Hello, welcome back to the channel. So this is something that I've kind of felt for a while now in StarRail, especially like more recently. I almost never feel compelled to do events besides just to get jades, and that's it. Which, you know, you could say is really all that they're there for, which is kind of true. But like at the same time, like you should at least want to do the events, you know? Like you should just feel like they're like a chore to do, you know what I mean? And, you know, there are a couple of problems that I see with events in StarRail. One, a lot of the events feel either just way too, like, whatever, or just, like, way too dragged out. Like, all of, like, the big events, like, a lot of, like, the big, like, story events, just feel way too long, and it just doesn't really, it just makes me not want to do them, you know? And on the opposite side, we have stuff like the Boot Hill event, which is kind of like, why do we even bother? Like, especially for like Boot Hill, like there's so many interesting like Boot Hill events you could do, but you did an assignment event, really? Like, come on, that's still like yeah, I guess it's free jades, but it just kind of feels lazy, you know? Like, and I don't generally like calling things lazy since I know how hard game development can be, but like that's just kind of how it feels, you know? Like, and like obviously not every event needs to be like a massive event, but like there should be like still like something to them, you know? Like. The main problem with at least a lot of like the big events, at least that I have, like I said, is that the stories are just way too long, and let's be honest, most of the time just aren't that interesting. You know, like they really just aren't. Like now, usually I don't really mind when the story is long for the main story, because at least for me, you know, the main story is way more interesting than most of the event stories. I think like the two exceptions are like the War Dance event. And like the home decor event. I actually enjoyed those two quite a lot. But like most of the other ones are just kind of forgettable, you know? Like, at least the thing for me, like this has been kind of changing at least more recently. But at least for most of the other events, it almost feels like they're afraid to put important story in events. When like, this is the game where it would make almost the most sense to do that because the events are permanent. Like, it just feels so backwards to me, I just don't understand it. On the flip side of that, you have a lot of like smaller events, you know, most of like the combat events, like the mini games, things like that, which I feel are like super hit or miss. Like I enjoy like some of the combat events, like the one with all like the items and stuff. I like that one, but you know, other stuff like all like the puzzle ones, I just like I don't even remember half of them. You know, like, and I think that's the big problem with a lot of like the events in StarRail. It's not even necessarily that they're bad. It's just that they're just kind of whatever, you know? Like, now I get them being kind of like whatever and not super important for something like 3.0, since, you know, the main focus is like the new story and the new planet and all that. But like when most of a patch's content is events, like it's only like 2.7, it is kind of a problem. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember like what happened in 2.7 besides like the Sunday story, and that's it. Like, I don't even remember what was in 2.7. Like, now, like I said, not every event needs to be like a huge, massive event. But you should at least feel compelled to do them. And you shouldn't just feel like you're just going like, oh, fine, I'll do it. You know? Like, that's how I feel a lot of the time, you know? I don't know. But anyway, what do you guys think about events in StarRail? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.